I want to talk about why this trade on gold that I just entered right here, I entered right here, was a bad trade. And basically, even though I'm right now, my entry should have been once we came over here, right? Now check this out. When I got to gold this morning, the chart was telling me this boy gonna go up. However, it didn't look like it does now. It looked like this. Okay, so my bias was that from the 15-minute, I can see they were creeping up. On the 4-hour though, I saw this zone of supply up here. So I'm like, well, if gold is going to continue this, and we haven't had a real pullback yet, where can it pull back into? And the only zone I can see on the 4-hour is this guy right here. And so basically, the whole morning, I was forcing trades. And I almost blew my fund account. Well, my funded challenge account. I'm currently working on a 50K, my Forex funds. But I basically pretty much messed up the account trying to catch this. And all I really had to do, check this out. All I really had to do, instead of forcing trades all up in here, being like, oh, it's gonna go up, it's gonna go up. This was our first sign right here. We had this quasi / head and shoulders. We have the head, we have the left shoulder, we have the right shoulder, right? And so now all we have to do is wait for a return. And that could be to here, or it could be to here. All you need to understand about this is that once it gets into this wick, you just don't want a body to close past the bottom of this here. And if you get a rejection candle coming out of it, basically even if you don't wait, it'll be a higher risk trade if you don't wait, but you could even just enter right here. Put your stop loss right under the zone, right? Put your stop loss right here. And that would have been a better entry because that would have given you kind of confirmation, basically just waiting for your signs. But for me, I entered basically on this candle, not even, I was like, okay, this is part of a quasi, it's probably gonna go, I'm just gonna put my stop loss in here. Now, not only did I get a worse entry, but I entered prematurely, and it's super risky because there's nothing here on the lower time frame now telling me that this is gonna go up. Right? If you're coming to the chart, even worse than that. Where's my replay tool? Even worse than that. If you're coming to this chart, this thing is dumping like this on the 1 minute, right? You don't want to just enter because then you're basically like, I mean, you can't see it here, but you're basically guessing. You don't want to guess. You kind of want to vibe with the market. You want to flow with what it's doing. And we broke a high up here, so we know that it's going to bounce from here or here if it wants to keep going bullish. It's like we wouldn't break a high if we were going to keep going bullish. So just think about that, because this is a super crazy trade, like super risky. And I'm actually making this video for myself because even though I was mostly right, I was also very wrong. And this could have just come and take me out and then kept going down, because basically taking the trade from here means that you're assuming that it will bounce from that 15-minute zone. You're assuming that this is gonna hold. But if you think about it, with these areas of demand and supply, price can trace all the way down these wicks because there's other lower time frame areas of supply and demand within here. So I guess I call this is an area of demand because it's below, but yeah, basically price can trace down in these wicks and then go up. Like it doesn't have to make this big bullish candle, right? Like gold kind of bailed me out after beating me up the whole morning. I couldn't even take this trade on my regular account because I almost messed it up. So that's basically just what I want to point out. Like this, even though it's running, it was not a good trade. However, now that I'm in it, I'm really happy, and my bias is still that it goes to this 4 hour, mainly because we haven't had a real pullback lately. I've seen gold do this type of creeping structure and then massively pop, and also there's these wicks in here, right? We want to clear out this liquidity in here, and then tap into this zone and see what happens. We don't have to drop from here. I probably will be out of the trade by the time, like basically I'm just gonna take stop loss right there, but or not stop loss, take profit right there. But if it does start to run, I might even try to get in again, just because yeah, gold does some things that, you know, it's kind of crazy. Anyways, I just want to make a point that you can be right for the wrong reasons, and it doesn't make it awesome. Like I think it was pretty, like the way that I got into this trade was pretty bad. Just wait for the entry criteria, and you know, stick with your bias, but just wait for the entry criteria. Don't try to force a million trades.